2, 1. Hello, this is Dave, and welcome to Equity Story. And I'm with Wolfie. And where you go? What is it that cold? It's so warm here in Sydney. Why are you all dressed up in your winter woolies?
Because the mornings are actually quite cold here at the moment in Brisbane. However, there has been some warm days, I have to say. So it's probably going to warm up in a moment, and I'll probably open all the windows.
Okay, it's not that you haven't paid your heating bill again.
No. Look, well, almost I haven't, because
you know what? You know why you're so cold? Because you shaved all your bloody hair off. That's the problem.
Maybe
you shaved all your hair off. Now you're cold, and now you're having to wear jackets to bed.
Yeah, but probably one of the reasons I shaved my head was because I've got so many hats I wanted to wear.
Well, that brings us to the first story we're going to talk about, where you can buy a nice hat, and we'll try and pick one out for you. And this is just a general share advice, not personal advice. And Wolf, a few companies. Now, the first one is CTT, Setia, right?
Yep.
Which some very, very strong numbers, up 87% revenue. That's good.
Yeah, exactly. So, by the way, if anyone wants to buy me a Balenciaga hat for $2,000, I'm more than happy to accept. I know.
Well, I just cannot believe like things at the moment. Right. This.
Go to the hats. Come on, I want to see.
Let's pick you one. Let's pick you out.
Oh, 428. Woohoo! Limited edition, Dave.
Embroidered baseball cap, 434. Right, that's more like it. We could afford that.
Oh, no, I like that one. I like this one, the Barber one. Oh, yes, that's what I normally wear.
A Gucci, $741.
Oh, wow.
164 for a bloody cap like that, right? Look at this will keep your head warm. Look at that.
Yeah, I need one of those for
$199. That's not too bad. But generally speaking, this is crazy money. Vivienne Westwood, $307 for that. I mean, I'm not, listen, maybe, okay, you can say I've got no fashion sense at all, right? But I'm amazed, Wolf.
Yeah.
When you look, I'll go to the men's stuff, right? Yeah. I'm just amazed what the prices they sell this. I'm not saying SH1T, right? But what they sell this stuff for. T-shirts for $388.
Yes.
I tell you what, I'm absolutely, this drives me mad. Look at this. Balenciaga monogram printed knit cardigan, $1,681. Equity Story memberships, guys, are going up. They have to. Why, this is crazy.
No, we're going to keep it down so everyone can actually make some money to buy this stuff.
Well, then we should buy this company if we have the money. Sales revenue up 87%. I thought, are you...
Just leave it on that, by the way, because the actual numbers are very, very good, right? If you look at them. Let's talk some sense for a moment, because we're actually going to call this as a buy. Funny enough. Look at the FY24 outlook, Dave. Positive adjusted EBITDA during July, so already the first month of 2023 financial year. 2024 financial year, apologies for that, increased by approximately 120% versus PCP. The growth is accelerating, Dave. Buy. I mean, this is crazy stuff. But look, we talked about this, right? Maybe I'm not a huge fan of the company and the intricacies of it. And obviously the CEO selling shares at the inopportune times, like a Kogan type style. But you can't argue with the growth. Look at the revenue. Look at the revenues. It looks decent, doesn't it? From that, adjusted EBITDA goes to positive now. You can see that there's something about this business that's actually not bad. So
I mean, you're looking at the average order value, $747.
Yeah.
Right.
Look at the customers, the base they moved from 260,000 to 450. So that's a 60-something% increase.
All right, but where they're growing? They're selling in US, UK, Australia, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yep. So they're growing.
They're also looking at much of the localization efforts have continued on the Chinese market launch. The Chinese love to spend stuff on this. I mean,
China will be huge, surely, for them.
Yeah, but it could also be troublesome. I mean, remember the
Wolf, I go outside this building where our office is. We got all the handbag shops. They're queuing up for their $5,000 handbags, right? It is Okay.
Look, it is what it is. In other words, there is definitely a demand for high-end clothes, brands, and so on from a populace out there. That's never going to change. There's always going to be that niche market for a lot of people. So you've got to take that, at least just from a very basic point of view, they're onto something here, right? For sure. So I think this is for me on those sort of results. I probably maybe having a little cheeky trade here back to that $4 again.
Yeah. Listen, I mean, that is actually a 25% if it came off, right?
Right. That's
So
right.
I mean, I'd just target maybe 390, right? I wouldn't be too greedy on it.
Yep, absolutely.
What? Okay, there you go. First, we haven't put a trade on for a while. A good
And
announcement.
risky trade, by the way, risk trade. So you've got to, Dave, please mark it, because a lot of people go, this is not going that well. Remember, it will go pay off big time with these risky trades. It'll pay off big time for you, or unfortunately, you're probably going to lose a little bit of money. This one got away or the. That's why you're going to protect yourself with a stop loss on this.
Yeah. So you've got your stop loss is about 247.
Yep.
Right. So what we're saying, we believe right now at the moment, unless the world caves into a complete catastrophe, that there's more chance that this story goes up than goes down.
You know what, Dave? I think there's a psychology about this stock as well. It's that, when you're down in the dumps, things are not going for you, but you're always like extremely happy you buy yourself this Balenciaga thing, and you feel, you're getting home and you feel good about it, going, look at that, I've bought myself something that I can be happy about. It's a psychology part of that as well. So
what, darling? Sorry, I can't afford the electricity bill, but
I bought myself a Gucci bag.
But yeah, look how good I.
Good thing you buy yourself a really nice thing.
Oh, right.
Even though you and me thinking, a nice thing can cost $2, right? For these people, unfortunately, a nice thing maybe costs $2,000.
Yeah, I'll tell you what tells me that our interest rates are going to be going a lot higher, because if people are spending money like this willy-nilly on this type of stuff, there's certainly no slowdown in the economy, right?
Anyway, I think you got to, I think, like I said, this is on this results on the outlook, what we've seen on the July. This is a buy. Take it up to the 390, 247 is a stop. Done deal.
It's actually got it's got $1 billion market cap.
Yeah. I'm
just.
We're just here for the quick trade, right? A very small point of time in the whole scheme of things. We're going with the momentum here.
Right. Okay.
Don't complicate things. Leave it simple.
Right. We are going with the momentum.
And I tell you what, I like the daily too.
Let's have a look at chart actually that looks a little bit better. BLD. So again, talk about the charts are never wrong. I mean, Wolf, technically this is a much better buy.
Yep.
Right. And
much safer buy. Less risk involved. Much more predictable what's going to happen. But much more boring, unfortunately.
Yeah, but I think you can buy this if you want Wolf under and just target 495, right? Yep. It's only a little trade, right?
5% trade, still good enough.
Yeah, definitely. I think we'll go for that one. We've got it can be, we're just sticking at 2 months, and I think we'll just target that 495. And we'll put a I think we'll put a stop loss, Wolfie, at you know what? I'm going to go 439, just below the trend, that old support. Yeah.
Yep.
So that's pretty tight. 439. It's a we'll look at it on a weekly and upload it today, and it's a buy. So there's 2 stories that come out with news. I know they've had a run. They most probably might go down a little bit actually before they go higher. So you've got to be patient with them. Wolf, that brings me on to some other stories. AQZ, it's holding up.
Decent result today, And let me just go back to BLD for a second, Dave, because this is quite interesting how it's bringing the others up as well. So BLD is on a recovery path, margin-wise, business-wise. What's interesting is that Vic Bansal, who's actually in charge of BLD, he's a good turnaround specialist, right? Who did Cleanaway turnaround as well. Went from under $1 to that $3 wherever it is at the moment. So he's done a great job with BLD now. He's another turnaround story. So for me, there's definitely still momentum in that BLD, good results, and they're talking about 10% growth over the next year or so. So BLD definitely on the up, but it's also brought up BKW, right, which is in a similar space. So if I just want to put in BKW, because I know that it had a really good chart, it had a bit of a pullback, but it's sort of starting to recover again. So I'd also be probably looking at this possibly as a trade somewhere along the line. Maybe not today, but wait for Friday, maybe wait for next week when it looks a little bit better. But I'd be, for the longer term, I'd be nibbling on this around these levels.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, maybe just put a buy near that 236.
Yep. So I'm interested to see what the results are going to be for BKW as well.
QBE. Listen, the chart's excellent, Wolf. Right, it's still holding trend. It's still holding aggressive trend line. Down a little bit on the announcement, but still the charts are saying still a hold. Are the fundamentals saying still a hold?
I don't think it's got anything to do with the actual results today. I think it's more to do with it missed probably a little bit of expectations out there, right, for the brokers. And I tell you what, Dave, missing expectations at the moment is just holy moly.
Well, I'll tell you what, if
punishments are meted out there by the investors is crazy.
But Wolf,
FD&T.
But I'll tell you what, if they've missed expectations, this is not a punishment. 2.2%. I mean, they're holding up really well.
Yeah, well,
aren't
that's
they?
okay. That's okay, but that's possibly one of the risks at the moment with holding stocks through the reporting season, because I'm just going to refer to the US at the moment, which is just crazy volatile on some of these earnings, right, that are coming out with. Last night was just spectacular. Minus 20%, minus 30%. I mean, it's just ridiculous movements. Last night on the Nasdaq, on some of the stories that they released some of the results. I mean, holy moly! You wouldn't want to like roller coasters. You'd just be in hospital. But anyway, look, that's not too bad. Absolutely, you're right. And the movement here, if they missed expectations and that's 2.5% down, yeah, pretty good. But go to the next one, because the next one is for me. So yeah, hold for QBE, no problems there. This is the other buy, I think, for today. And again, we had that bit of selling, bit of profit taking, and what they do, they just keep going on the merry way. Another profit upgrade, right? Thank you very much. Another 5% profit upgrade. You gotta like this. So it's again should swing. Hopefully that's again you're going to target at $30, and off you go.
Definitely, Wolf, and again, a very, very quality story, isn't it? Superb.
Yeah, cool. That's a story.
Okay, so we're just going to have this sort of buy under 28.37. We're going to be obviously trending it. It's just a trade. It's a large cap. It's maybe medium. We're going to give a sort of 2 months, just a little trade. We've got a stop loss. 25.75, yep. 25.75. I hope when we're doing these sort of stop losses, people, even if they haven't got the course, get what we're doing. It's on a weekly, so you're waiting the end of the week, and you've got a target price of, you know what? I'm just going to stick it right on 30, right? So, and we're uploading it today, and it's a buy. So. Again, I know this is a stock that you actually hold in the fund and you're long on it, Wolf, and it's starting. Look at it. Good, it's successful, and there's no reason why it can't do this, right? What it did over the last year and a half is trending absolutely beautifully. So, nice stock there.
It's still got positive tailwinds behind it. You know what? I traded this one. I have to say, not badly, because I sold it close to $30. I still got a little bit of it. So I'm going to buy it back now at this 28 something back into the fund to make up more full position again. And I'm hopefully going to take that back up to $30. A really good story. You can't dismiss upgrades. This is good.
All right, let's have a look at AGL. Because AGL's had this tremendous run. Now, for me, that's a sign. Yeah, it's first sort of bad candle. Maybe it's a sell. And then, like you said, you buy it back if it gets going. But it hasn't done enough so far, Wolf, to get back over that trend line. So
it's all been priced in. That's the problem with AGL. That's a result today was priced in because the result's actually pretty good. And they actually, the outlook, so they're forecasting or guiding us for 100% growth profit-wise for next year, right? Which is obviously tremendous, for a big company like AGL, going from whatever, 200 something million bucks in profit to 500 odd million in profit. That's excellent, right? You've got to be going, oh yeah, but it's already, I think it's already been sort of priced in a way, because it's gone from what, $7 down $11, so it's almost doubled from there already. So understandably, maybe a bit of a pause there, but I think generally speaking, it's on the up. So you got to respect the chart, and once it starts moving again, we're back on.
Yeah, and I think the monthly tells the story a little bit better, doesn't it? If you've got that long-term approach, you can see the general story, the general gist of the story after going as low as $6 is really starting to recover around here.
Yeah.
Right. Okay. AMP. El Disastro, AMP. It's been an absolute. And the charts are saying the announcement day is still not enough to get this.
Oh, it's funny, isn't it? The rabid dog everyone's scared to let it out of the doghouse, aren't they? Because it's just been such a bad investment company over the last few years. So it almost needs to have like a 3-year period of good performance before the market gets used to it again. That is actually not a bad story again. That's the problem. Once you use your reputation, Dave, very difficult to win it back. Very, very difficult. Even if you look at the results today, they seem okay on paper. But again, is it enough for the market right now? Probably not. They need more.
Definitely. ACF, which we are trending, this one has been on signs. It had a buy signal. I mean, people are in this. And up another 5.7% today. Yeah,
look, this is the biggest contract they've ever won, the 60 odd million. So, they are shouting up top of the roof. Fair enough. With Snowy Hydro 2.0, I think. So scaffolding business, pretty good. On the up at the moment. They've been upgrading us as well. You always respect the upgrade stories, and I love to trend those stories, because I know usually there's going to be some positive news coming. So, you're lowering your risk pretty much.
All right, Wolf. Lastly but not least, a little explorer with actually some very, very impressive results.
It's actually not an explorer; it's a producer.
Oh, it's a producer. Well,
as well, yes. They've only just started to produce. So this is why I've got sort of caught my interest this one today, because I haven't seen it before, and you can see why. It's only been listed like a few months, right? So I'm thinking, okay, true enough, what is these guys? Who are these guys? So the management seems pretty decent when I look through them. Right, I think Evolution, and had pretty strong industry history. So for me, and experience. So for me, pretty good. But those drilling results today were pretty impressive. 66 meters at 5% copper with silver and cobalt in it from 234. So I don't know. I think, okay, that's pretty impressive. I'm interested. I want to see more. So that's why I started reading about it. I went through the actual announcements to see what their sort of schematics are of where they're drilling, and, is there possibility for more and so on. So I'm still interested in this. And the other thing I found out about this is actually a producer. So they started to produce at one of the other projects. They've got about a 15 million ton at a 1.5% copper already resource, right? At this other project. So for me, pretty interesting story. One I put on my watch list to trade once we get a bit of a chart going, right? So certainly, because I'm always interested in copper stories, certainly I'm going to add this to my universe of copper stories.
Well, it's interesting what you say that, because they actually did pay. I'm just looking here. They've obviously paid a good amount of money for this mine. They paid 30 million in cash. And I'm looking at their market cap, which is 57 million. Right. So Wolf, when you sort of look at their market cap and you say, okay, I get it. Well, they bought something which puts the value on the market cap. It makes it this sort of the value of these drill results a little bit more interesting, doesn't it?
Yeah, for sure.
If you actually just look at the market cap and you say, oh, 57 million, you go, well, that's expensive. But like you said, they have bought actually a mine that is producing. And suddenly when you start adding up the numbers, this makes this a lot more interesting, definitely.
Yeah. So, the package, you think to yourself, there's merit. I'm certainly going to trade it if it demands it. So, but definitely too early looking at the chart. It's just, I can't pick it. It's going to go at the moment. But those drilling results, you got to respect it. And I'm interested to see more, if they can come up with something similar, because that is really, truly one of the better results we've seen this year.
I mean, Wolf, surely if we're going to break out by the end of the week, it's worth a look.
Possibly. Let's mark this and ask me tomorrow. Yeah, I'll do it when we're reading about this because like I said, I'm interested. It's caught my eye today.
I think we need to look exactly sort of how profitable that mine is.
Yeah, well, let's see exactly
or how unprofitable it is. Let's look
at the economics of it, right? Because I haven't even seen the mine and what they were hoping for out of it. So I need to do a bit of research on that. But at least, from the first pass view, I'm thinking very interesting for sure.
Wolf, just look at EOS. A hard one to hold on to. There's a lot of volatility in this little trade. It's down 11% yesterday, up 5% today. But holding above that $1. So I think a lot of people trading EOS. It's a real traders. But what that does mean to me is that if they come out with some news, it'll have a run, right? But, because there's I think, like you said, your Reddit crowd, Wolf, your favorite Reddit crowd, are obviously all over this one.
And again, this is one of those cases, Dave, that risk rewards are big because it's a high risk story. So either if it pays off, you're probably going to be very, very happy, right? If it doesn't pay off, hopefully you're not going to lose too much because we set a stop loss just below that $1, right?
Yeah. So you got. Well, that's what you're looking for. Like you look at risk reward, aren't you?
Yep. So anyway, it's going to be volatile. We know that. We've talked about it, and it is during the week. I've had people yesterday asking me what's going on, down 15% for the week, but bouncing 5% today. You can see it's volatile.
Yeah. All right. On that note, and the risk reward is a very, very important thing.
Yes. 100%.
It's like sort of getting married, isn't it, Wolf? What's the risk? What's the reward?
Exactly. You've got to have to do some research on your future wife, Dave.
How many nights? How many nights am I going to lose in the pub? And how many nights am I going to have a nice? You've got to balance it off, and then you make a decision.
That's right. Exactly. Yeah. How high will your pressure go up with 7 days? This is all part of your research you've got to do.
All right. On that note, hasta luego.
Okay, guys.
See you, mate. Bye.